Best practices for improving findability. So maybe you're having maybe those of you who responded that sometimes you can't find what you need. Here's some tips to help you improve your ability to find what you need. So when it comes to structuring your collections and organizing your folders, a great technique that we recommend is sort of numbering your folders and using emojis. Adding some distinctive layer to the folder titles can be helpful just in terms of making them easy to find in places like Card Manager, making them easy to navigate for new hires, making them easy to sort of visually identify and remember. Also descending in kind of complexity. So starting with the most basic topics are like the first folders, and then the more complex topics are the bottom folders. And if you were attended our People Ops workshop a couple weeks ago, you'd see a great example of this, but I'll show it here now again. Our People Ops collection is organized in this kind of way where the sort of go-to information for most people is going to be these top couple folders here, and then the more nuanced, more complex information is down at the bottom, and you can see these folders are numbered as well. So that can be a really nice way to structure your collections, make them easy to find. And with folders, with cards, with everything, you kind of want to design with new hires in mind. So ask yourself, if I was like starting here the first day, like if I didn't know anything about my company, would I be able to easily navigate these folders, these collections, understand the content of these cards? So trying to think through that sort of new hire lens can be really helpful. And avoiding generic titles. So don't title your folders like miscellaneous or general information. Those kind of generic titles can be repeated throughout a lot of collections, which can kind of be confusing if you're working in places like Card Manager, but also doesn't really tell you or the users much good information about what's contained in those folders. So being specific when you can is really helpful. And a lot of those concepts apply to improving your card content as well. So in terms of making your cards more discoverable, titling is probably the most crucial aspect to discoverability. So being specific with your card titles as well, avoiding generic terms like miscellaneous information, that kind of stuff. Using terms that people search with. So going into the analytics, Guru's analytics, and looking at some of those panels like searches producing results or searches producing no results, seeing the actual terms that people are searching for can be really helpful in informing how you all sort of title your content, what sort of keywords and versions of terms you put in your titles or in your card content. And think about the title as like, how can I title this card so that much like a folder, people know exactly kind of what's going to be contained inside of that card just from looking at the title. Your content should be easy to consume. You can now create cards as long as you want them to be. We used to talk a lot about, bite-sized content and short form content, but now you can make cards infinitely long, but it's still important that they be easy to consume and easy to digest. So if you have those longer cards, utilize things like dividers and call out boxes and bullets and lists and really chunk up that text into easy to understand information so people can kind of grab and go. The longer your cards are, the more useful the headers and collapsible sections will be in the card editor as well. As every time you create a header, it'll create a bookmark in the table of contents that you can jump to, and soon you'll be able to link to, which I know a lot of people are going to be really, really happy about being able to link to specific sections of cards. So the more headers you use, the more available links you'll have to link to specific sections and cards in the future. Including TLDR descriptions at the top of cards, just kind of summarizing what the purpose of the card is, who it's for, any need to know information, putting it at the top of the card can be really helpful, especially if that card is mainly linking out to another source, like maybe a Google slide or something like that. It's going to be really useful for Guru to have more keywords to pull from when searching if you have a little TLDR description at the top. And then being consistent, being specific with the terminology that you use across all your cards is going to be really valuable as well. Tagging, we get a lot of questions about tagging. How important is it to search? Do I need to tag all of my cards? Am I not going to be able to find anything if I don't tag them? Don't worry too much about tags if you're just getting started. And if you want to use tags, we really recommend um, designing them with a sort of administrative perspective in mind. So, like you as the sort of knowledge manager or person who's going to be in charge of Guru, think about like if I have a product update or if I need to make changes to cards having to do with an event, how am I going to easily find those cards that I can make changes to those cards? So think about it like that. So like you probably want to tag a card with a feature name, or maybe you need to update videos a lot or images, so you can, use a video tag or an image tag, so that you can, when it's time to update information in bulk, you can go into Card Manager and you can filter for those tags and easily find the information that you need to update. Don't worry so much about what are people going to filter for when they're searching with tags. It's just a smaller a number of people actually use tags to filter than the number of administrators and knowledge managers that are going to actually be using those tags to help them update content in bulk. So think about tags with that kind of in mind. Don't worry about tags too much from a searching perspective is our recommendation there. Focus more on the titling and the content in terms of improving your findability and searchability of your content there.